This is a bit of a prescriptive formula. Scenes do not have to play out this way. However, most scenes do. This is, I'm going to run through a formula with you. I'm going to run through the general formula of the general cinematic scene with you so that you can have words for what you've been watching all your life. There's some film language that just kind of makes sense to be structured a specific way. Here's how the most basic scene goes. We start with an establishing location shot, usually a wide, and our subject being the entire building. You'd be surprised how many times you're seeing location shots to transition between scenes and establish a new location. Skit shows like Saturday Night Live are notorious for this, to try to establish a framework for the scene, but it happens everywhere. Then typically we go to an interior establishing wide shot where we see most of the characters and we figure out their geography based on each other, where their blocking is. Usually then we'll move in a little bit closer, sometimes to a cowboy, sometimes to a two-shot. Maybe we'll see a few of the more important characters in the scene in pairs. Then finally, we'll be getting some close-ups of faces. We know where all the characters are in relationship to each other, so we don't need to be so far out. So now we can spend time a bit closer up to understand the nuances of the actors' performances. And we'll stay there throughout a significant portion of the scene. Sometimes, if there's an entrance of a new character, or if there's a shift in the emotional tone, we'll back up a little bit. We'll give the characters some breathing room. If there's a new character, we'll introduce them to the geometry and change the blocking around. And then our shots can come up a little bit closer again. To be honest, I'm surprised how quickly I'm able to explain this to you. It's extremely simple and extremely elegant, but it is beautiful film language that we didn't understand at first. Now, obviously, this is only the case for the most straightforward of dialogue-heavy conversation scenes. Obviously, the more things that are happening in the scene, the more complicated your scene becomes. There's a lot that a cinematographer has to do on set, and a lot that the editor has to do with those shots in post-production to ensure that the audience understands what's going on. Because again, it seems obvious, but humans don't watch things play out the way that we do in movies. If you'd been getting a drink in a Wild West saloon and you walked out to see a fight happening in the middle of the muddy intersection, you would be watching it from your point of view, from your vantage point on the point of the saloon the entire time until you walked away. You have one, well, technically two, but essentially you have one camera in your face and it has one specific focal length and it sees what it sees. And that's all you see for your whole life. You're basically living life with one consistent shot, one point of view. But like we talked about earlier, cinema allows us to basically move the position of the audience, to reveal things to them that they may not have known before.